In recent weeks, I've learned a valuable lesson from my friend Seth Kaiser. Nothing, not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not family, nothing is better or more important than football. Which is why I'm here doing my second podcast of the day on my second wedding anniversary, while Nate is here with a newborn still being introduced to the world.
Right.
Seth, of course, is at his son's Taekwondo test. Holiday games and priorities for me, but not for thee, I assume. Yes, though I do have power, which was a legitimate concern for about 20 hours or so. But I am online. I am here. Nate is out in the wilderness. A beautiful, lush backdrop that makes me think it could still definitely rain again.
Look, I don't have any control or power in my own house, Josh. So, I guess welcome to the club.
There's a kite behind you, Nate. That is whimsical as hell.
I mean, this kid is killing it over here on the kite situation. Let me see if I can we find. Oh, there it is. Find him. There he is.
Incredible.
Look at that beautiful, majestic thing. So yeah, Holly was like, I mean, you could do the podcast from home, but why would we do that when I want to be outside? So here we are yet again, ladies and gentlemen, at a nearby park, coming to you, yours truly. Look, Seth has a confluence of priorities that I don't quite understand.
I know.
And yet I want to sincerely congratulate you and Renee on your wedding anniversary.
Thank you so much.
I can. Is she working today?
She had here's the thing, Nate. We woke up and still didn't have power. So she went to an early morning meeting and brought back breakfast, which included I didn't fully I'll put a pin on it this way. Our wedding cake for our wedding was a stack of cinnamon rolls from McLean's. And Renee went there today and they had the cinnamon rolls in stock. So we got to have a fresh cinnamon roll as it was our wedding cake. That's now something we can have on a Tuesday in 2025. It's delightful. The other problem here is that, Seth would not know what those cinnamon rolls tasted like because he was gone by the time we got to the cake. You, of course, stuck around and helped shut down the dance floor.
Yes.
What Seth did do was at the beginning of the wedding, tell Sterling Holmes that he could totally just grab a cinnamon roll now. It's probably no big deal, despite the fact that it was very much arranged and labeled in a way that it was a big deal.
Yeah, no one had touched these things, and he was like, but I'm hungry. And we're like, that's not the point.
And he could have asked 149 people there, and they would have been like, no, Sterling, that's not time yet.
Is it your ceremony? Because I think the answer is no.
All it takes is one, and that one was Seth.
Yeah, it really does. So thank you, Renee. I think that was the day that I met Tara, I believe. Mrs. soon-to-be Tucker D. Franklin. The D stands for
Diamond.
Yeah, big ass diamond. Exactly. Thank you. I think that was the first time I met her. Not that anybody needs to know this, but I remember meeting Tara because like her and Holly had some connections, or people that they knew one another. And I think maybe Tucker doesn't want this out there, but
Tucker's not here right now.
He's not here right now, so who cares?
Extraordinaire Nick here.
Hope he listens to the show.
He's probably driving and listening to this right now, wondering, "Oh my God, what's Nick gonna say?"
Nick, under no circumstance do you delete this from the existence of this show. But I saw Tara. We chatted again. She was talking with Holly. We were doing well. We were having fun. Obviously, this is after the ceremony. This is more reception, happy hour, whatever. I think we're in line to get tacos. What a day. And I should returning to Tucker and being like, are you real? Are you for real? dude, get on it. Like, I had just met her. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Propose now.
At Josh and Renee's wedding.
Wedding, yeah, at the wedding. Hey, I know I just met your gal. Dude, you better be sprinting to that jewelry store, whichever one of your choice. So yes, it was a beautiful ceremony. It was before. Yes, thank you, Renee. It was before the ceremony with Seth's nonsense.
Yeah, Levi makes a totally what would be Levi a totally fair point. Levi said, to be fair, the most hungry a human can possibly be is when they are suspended in time between wedding and reception.
Very true.
This was before the ceremony. And Renee did all the work on this. I had like 3. Right. Not that I like. She just did it and knew what she wanted, and I was there going, yeah, that sounds great. And it was a good process, great result, happy about it at every turn. But we were really serving in the cocktail hour. There were soft pretzels. There was
plenty of options.
There was some other sort of, I think, savory snack that I've blacked out now. Before we even got to the tacos, I do think that Seth was gone before that, though, too. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he definitely didn't have a cocktail, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Sterling ate food before the wedding.
It's not that Sterling ate food before the wedding. Sterling ate a cinnamon roll that was in the place of our wedding cake with Seth's approval before the ceremony.
And by the way, delicious. But
so good.
But not right now. Not right now. Hey, if I remember correctly, you guys were largely on time. The ceremony wasn't that long because growing up in a Black Southern Baptist style church, dog, when does this end?
Times are subjective, you know. Oh, Seth's in the chat. Oh, good.
Yeah. I've been in some weddings when I was a child being like, this isn't how it goes in the movies, right? In the movies, it goes a lot faster. Like, kiss her already. Yeah, kiss her. Yeah. What are we doing? Oh, another verse?
Yeah, and Renee and I had been to enough weddings to know, like, all right, listen, we're both gas bags in our own way, but we're not making the ceremony reflect that, even though we're both professional yappers.
Right. So yes, Adam Sheehan is correct. All it took was one lovely conversation with Taylor to be like, out of his league.
The D stands for out of your league.
The max contract now. She might ask for a trade request. Get the pen on the paper. What are you doing?
The price is only getting more expensive.
Exactly. Yes. Get it under the cap now.
And it seems like he did. I don't know. Listen, I haven't talked to Tara's agent. You know, I don't want to put any bad vibes out there. But we're good now. We still gotta get that pen to paper. But you know that day will come.
It'd be funny to hear either or both of their reactions to all this little fun 5-minute banter, because I kid you not, this is true life. And I think I told Holly, I was like, they're great together, or something to the effect of that. And then I think it was the first day I'd really like gotten to know Hopper, which was fantastic. It was a lovely
Scout at
day.
the time. Scout was there now. Hopper didn't exist, which is also crazy.
Right. Okay, I'm getting them backwards. Yes,
that happens. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Scout had a kissing booth where you could go.
It was incredible.
She was our flower girl. I mean, the whole
wedding was incredible.
I just wish Seth would have been there for more of it, you know.
It is 5:20. It is. You know, we still have the lovely photo of you two on our fridge, because you know what? Because we care. That's
beautiful. I believe I have your the Taylor family baby number 2 pregnancy announcement. I believe is the current Taylor family fridge space that is also held on ours.
Nice.
So the tush push, huh?
Yeah. So look, these white crusty owners don't care to see grown men. Don't want to see grown man push another grown man's butt. Look, I'm not saying this is identity politics, but come on, guys. Like, you know, we don't have this issue in the WNBA. We don't have this issue in the NWSL. We don't have this in the WTA. But yeah, man can't push another man's bottom. Now, this is going to get passed.
The vote, just so everybody knows real quick, the voting on this is expected tomorrow, right?
Right.
Both the Lions proposal, which we're also going to talk about. Those are expected to get voted on tomorrow. And you're saying, Nate, it's passing tomorrow.
Yeah. They designed it to where it should be passed. The Packers altered their presentation, their proposal to say, well, hey, what if you can't push another man anywhere, right? So I think the thing that blows my mind is, this is, and again, I don't know if I'm going to get much out of the Trey Smith discussion. Sure. No, but we do. Thank you, Joseph. No, but we do have a race war in the WNBA.
Yes, and that's good for ratings. That's the difference.
It's impressive for ratings. Can we get these ladies in prime time though? Mother bleep the 3:00 hour. I don't care. Get them in prime time. I always felt like now I'm on a tangent. I always felt like the WNBA should be like opposite of the conference finals, since we get to this point now. Ooh, where it's like, if we don't have a conference final game on, this is the best WNBA. Let's go. It's early in the season. Let's see who's really got it.
There's a sadness that it comes every time you turn on your TV expecting playoff sports and there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Give me early season WNBA games. Great.
Yeah. Or, hey guys, welcome back. It's 2-0. I'm sorry, what? The Royals scored? Huh? Yeah. What? We scored? So here's the best part of all this. Trey Smith was one of the best players at, hey, my running back has been stood up at the secondary level. I am going to use my gigantic body to propel him an extra 2 yards. Well, we might not see that part of Trey Smith moving forward, because that is now in this new proposal kind of under the umbrella of, tush push nonsense. And look, only because it doesn't look good on TV. It actually, I think there's some rugby element to where it looks better in person than it does on television. But it doesn't look good on television. All these owners know that. I would argue in some sense that, the tush push actually helps increase scoring, because no one can stop it. Therefore, you keep possession and you keep moving.
And to be clear, no one can stop it when the Eagles do it.
Yes, correct. Right. So, they are continuing their drive to march forward towards the opponent's end zone. So it's not a score hindrance type of thing either. It's just, it doesn't look great. And look, it's a passing league and this does not involve passing. So, you can only look at your watch for so long before an owner or a collection of them says, hey, what if we put it on the Packers? Because, they don't have a principal owner, because they are community ran.
Yeah.
And what if maybe we don't want the offensive lineman to just plow into a linebacker trying to tackle a skill position player?
First of all, I think you're 100% right that the only thing this is for is entertainment value, which
correct.
It is an entertainment product. I am about the entertainment of it all. I'm not even saying that as a negative. It's just, this is one of the thinnest, most thinly veiled little entertainment value things. But player safety. No, it's not about player safety.
Oh, by the way, I heard that. I must have heard player safety a bunch of times when we were at the Breakers for the original owners meetings, and then they tabled it so that it would be less under the radar in May. I ain't heard player safety once this week.
Yeah.
So there you go. To your point, Josh, it's not really about player safety either.
It's not. And if you want to just say it's just not a great thing to look at, and when the Eagles if the Eagles have 2nd and 2 or 3rd and 2 or 4th and 1 or whatever, all of these places, it shortens it lessens the number of air quotes real football plays.
Right.
There's a comment earlier that said the tush push is dorky. I think that's one of the fairest criticisms of it. It's dominant and it's dorky. Sometimes a bunt can be kind of dorky, but if it works, you should do it. And if it wins you a game, I'm not going to say you shouldn't have. The only way to me where this, I almost yartzed when you said, well, Trey Smith will push a running back through a linebacker sometimes, and now that could be a penalty. The only sliver of this that I'm even willing to go just 50% on is that we should never see a penalty outside of the tush push formation. You should say, hey, this formation and this execution, we're going to penalize this because we don't want this in the game anymore, and that's fine.
Right.
If it's 3rd and 3 and Kareem Hunt gets 2.8 yards and you're not sure what way he's going to fall, and Trey Smith forearm shivers him 6 feet forward.
Just a little.
Football, that is moving the pile in a way that where it's not. I understand again the rugbiness of you don't want to be out there linking arms and trying to become one unit. But if the Chiefs lose a first down because Trey Smith pushed somebody to get a running back through the hole, I'm going to lose my mind, because now it's more ticky-tack ref subjective stuff. And let me check real quick. Looking at the chat, I'm looking at social media, I'm looking out my window. No one wants more ticky-tack subjective ref stuff. That's the worst thing for the sport. Also, as an entertainment product, by the way.
Correct, because they ruined that when they gave the officials more subjectivity when it came to reviewing pass interference, and especially offensive pass interference, when they actually said, hey, let's make this more, two sides of it versus just it normally being on the defense's fault. Look, it's got to be egregious would be, I guess, what I would that's what I would assume they would put in writing. Like, it has to be egregious that you are just like, I don't know, if you're lifting a guy and carrying him, you're trying to carry him forward, or you're a defensive player, you're trying to yank a guy back, not necessarily horse collar level, but like you're grabbing on his jersey and then like you're trying to assist another player or teammate, whatever. In an
leverage rules.
In an opposite direction. Yes. So it's got to be, I'm assuming at this point, it's widely believed throughout the league, because I've been on the phone today, that this is going to get passed. I know there are a lot of people who are over the tush push so that they can get back to other football related things, because that's what the competition committee actually cares about, is like, well, there's more issues than the tush push, but the tush push has mostly been pushed by ownership in the NFL, so they want to get this done so they can move on to other things. So again, it's understandable.
You know what you just said there, Nate, that I don't love?
What's that?
This is being pushed by the owners. This is being tush pushed by the owners.
Yes,
not the players, not the PA, and not coaches, which would be a time to do player safety things and game competition things. Yeah. I'm really not interested in like standing up for the tush push. Jake says accurately spotting the ball after a tush push is also damn near impossible. Absolutely.
Hey, this year.
Oh yeah, they're chipping the ball now, Jake.
Chipping the ball, and we got Hawkeye. Okay,
fantastic.
Now, I don't want to get too far into my own depths because I know who I am and I know what the audience wants. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, Hawkeye is a great tool in tennis.
Right. Which is pretty much football.
There's no controversy whether the ball's in or out or on the line or not. Hawkeye is incredible. So now let's add it to the only bleeping sport where the ball isn't round.
I think that's going to work fine.
It'll be great.
Rachel says the tush push is a bit anticlimactic. It takes some of the mystique out of the game of football a little bit. I think that's totally fair. Yes. I would say, Nick, I hate to bring the band hammer down, but sometimes you just get a chat where you just have to. Greg says, I love ticky-tack ref stuff. If we could just ban him from all KCSN products on all platforms, Greg, I'm sorry. We've seen you around. You've been a great voyeur, but unfortunately, you have to be exiled. I don't care if that was a joke. Thank you, Nick.
All right.
Please.
Yeah, shout out to Nate Dogg. All right, piece of the chain gang. Talk about dramatic. Talk about anticipation. Like, bring that 78 geriatric man out on the field and let's see if he spots the chain correctly. I mean, why are we? This is ageism. This is classic ageism. We all see it, and you're taking away jobs in America. That's exactly what we're doing, and it's
big tech is taking jobs away from
totally unacceptable.
Elder citizens.
We can't outsource these things to the cloud. All right,
exactly. Seth Kaiser in the chat says, I like the chain gang. I know this is not actually Seth Kaiser because Seth would have said, I see the pros and cons of both the chain gang and Hawkeye. So that's also Nick. If we could also ban that fake Seth Kaiser account, please. That was too strong of an opinion. That can't be him.
Gang must stop. That's right. Okay, look, if we could have, okay, what's a name that I could say that everybody agrees on but won't get totally personally attacked because they're not a family member, but they are a representative of us in our government system. If Mitch McConnell has a job, why can't Frank over there tell me if it's 3rd and 1?
It's a great question, Nate.
Thank you.
I don't know the answer. The index card industry in shambles right now. Thank you, Rachel.
What's the lady's name? Miss Barrett. If Miss Barrett can have a job for a lifetime, Why can't Susan tell me if it's 4th and inches?
I think we need to give Chain Gang members lifetime appointments. Hi, I'm Joshua Brisco, and I'm running for the head of the NFL's Chain Gang Association, I think. I haven't exactly figured out what the job is yet, but I'm open. Nate, do you have any feel on this other proposal that's getting voted on tomorrow, or the Lions have revised it to where, just so people know, the original proposal was bleep your division. We're seeding by records in the playoffs, and if we're a 13-win team who's second in our division, we're hosting a playoff game. Well, this revised version is that the NFL would then, this is the Lions proposal, would then reseed playoff teams based on regular season record after the first round of the playoffs. So if you win your division and you go, I've forgotten how numbers in the league work anymore. You're a 9-win division winner.
Right.
You get your first round home game. But if you've got a team in the, let's just pick a random division, the NFC North, who maybe has a couple double-digit teams, now they're hosting after being on the road previously.
Right. Let's say they're an 11-win team. Yeah. They didn't win their division.
Hypothetically.
So
that's what the Lions have proposed, hypothetically.
Now, I understand the tush push thing. We've all talked about it.
Yeah.
I do not understand this.
I hate this, man. I hate this.
This is disrespectful to the bracket.
It is. It's also convoluted for no reason.
Right.
How long it took me to explain it?
Once the bracket's set, it's set. Okay. And look, if you can't stop the Washington Commanders because half your defense is hurt, your best pass rusher's out for the season, your quarterback kind of had a turnover or two that still boggles my memory as to why he threw that ball or why you called that trick play that clearly didn't work. That's why you lost. It's not because Washington had a better record than, say, whoever the 7th seed was, if the 7th seed had won. It's just the NFL has told us that divisions matter, right?
Yes.
Because they don't matter in basketball, and they kind of matter in baseball. Hey, like I didn't understand last year. Like I'm like, so okay, like, but only 2 division winners don't play in the wild card round, but one does. Like, huh? Like when that doesn't make sense in Major League Baseball. And again, the bracket maintains its integrity in the NCAA tournament, in the men's NCAA tournament, in the WNBA, in the NBA, in the NHL, in the WTA. Guys, on Thursday, they're going to set the bracket, which is not really like, this is totally a little different, but like on Thursday at Roland Garros in Paris, they're going to tell you what the draw is, where you know who the seeded players are. Those are the good players in tennis, ladies and gentlemen. It's the really, really good players who get picked at random in a draw, and that's where they are on the bracket. But once you're on the bracket don't change. Like, what are we doing? So for the NFL to go against a bunch of traditional norms would be kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because I don't think owners foresee the fact that, like, yes, it's revenue sharing, but like divisions, you told me divisions matter, but now home field doesn't matter because it's based on record. So I don't know if this is going to get passed. I think this will be the most contentious, argumentative discussion, but I don't know, like, I don't see the benefits as much as I see, like, hey, give me, the ball's in Patrick Mahomes' hands once more, or hey, Jalen Hurts is going to actually have more pass attempts because of this rule, which makes the game inherently more intriguing. Yes, the French Open starts on Sunday, but the draw is on Thursday. Technically, the French Open starts like yesterday because of qualifying rounds. Don't get me started on tennis.
Don't get us started.
Don't get me started, Pass Lou. Anyway, I just love the idea that if the Chiefs were 11-5 and the Chargers were 11-5, but they have the tiebreaker, you're telling me the Chiefs could host a division round playoff game against the Houston Texans, who won their division with 10 games?
They could host the AFC Championship game.
Right.
Right? I mean,
what?
I think you nailed it, Nate, but like if we're gonna live in this space where we're just saying, hey, we collectively, and I think NFL media does this in a way that no other sports media base really does to this scale. If we're saying, all right, we want this league to be good, and we want to make sure things are happening. We want good, healthy players. We want a good number of games. Like, we're all in this thing together, baby. If this ship crashes, we're all crashing. There is not an entertainment value upside to this. It's just, again, and try to explain this to your grandma or whoever it is. Try to explain it to someone who really likes football, who calls themselves a Chiefs fan. Explain this rule to them in December when they say, okay, so the Chiefs have almost clinched the AFC West. They're going to host the AFC Championship game if they win out again? And they go, well, actually, grandma, no, because blah, 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 blah. It is very, very silly to me. And again, convoluted in a way where it's like, here's another example where I was happy to back it that was convoluted. The kickoff rules are more convoluted than the original kickoff rules.
Right.
But they're more entertaining and they appear to be safer.
And it led to more touchdowns via kickoff return than in the previous years. Correct.
I have no idea what the upshot of this is other than the Lions, I guess, being kind of hurt. And like, man, it sucks. We've all seen it though. We saw the 7-9 Seahawks beastquake into a playoff game win. And I could not tell you a lot of other wild card round games that stuck in my head, you know?
But here's the flaw with that proposal. It only is enacted in the divisional round and or AFC Championship round, right? If you're telling me records matter, shouldn't it most matter in the first round?
Yeah.
So you're telling me divisions matter, but they only matter in the wild card. You're telling me the records matter, but only in the divisional round. Like that's where it gets really odd for some reason. But again, owners understand that, hey, if we win our division, we get a home playoff game.
Right.
So I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give up that revenue, but also, is it fair for the Seattle Seahawks to host whoever, if they have a, sub whatever record? I mean, I guess, but like, you won your division and you get the seed. Like, that's how it's always worked.
Jake in the chat says it's not complicated. You're right. I'm not saying it's complicated. I'm saying it's convoluted.
Yeah.
It is shaking things up for the sake of shaking things up when every sports fan and most people know how a bracket works. You are you win, you advance against this team. You win, you advance against this team. We're talking about that stuff in week 15 when we're looking at wild card, the 1 and the 7. I promise. I feel like I've laid out my cards to show you I'm not just like yelling at the clouds, shaking my fist, stop changing things that I love. This is so bonkers to me as Nate literally shakes his fist at clouds at wherever he is outside right now. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about, you see this Joe Thuney guy, this guard the Bears have. He got a new contract. That sure is interesting.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's playoff time, and if you're still just watching games, then you're missing out. With Pick 6 from DraftKings, you can turn your hoops knowledge into real cash. Just make your picks, track your score, and if you hit all 6, you're looking at bigger payouts than Prize Picks Flex Plays. Nobody's dropping better payouts than Pick 6. Hit 6 picks, and that's 25 times your cash. And if you beat your competitor, you could be looking at a 500 times bag in your pocket. And right now, new customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. The playoffs are on, so why not take a shot at making a little money while you're watching? Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to play $5 and get $50 in bonus picks. Better payouts, bigger wins, only on Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
I have one more thing from the last thing that carried over. I'm sorry. I hate doing that after a long break. Jake said in the chat, better examples, the NFC South being terrible for a while and people just knew they were going to lose as the 4 seed. When did that happen? It never did. I am looking at the NFC South playoff seedings, like their playoff performances right now. Yes, in 2014, the Panthers went 7-8-1 and then won a wild card game. In 2015, the Panthers went 15-1 and lost the Super Bowl to the Broncos.
Right.
You've got years here of NFC South teams winning at least a playoff game. The Saints went 13-3 and lost in the wild card round to the Vikings in overtime. I don't remember anything else about that game. That's just not what happened. And I think that we get into these headspaces where it's like, well, this division has just stunk for so long. It really hasn't, especially if you only need one playoff team to be worthwhile, right? Like you can beat up on a subpar division, but in the history of the AFC East has just been laying there, man.
Now, for a while, you could say the Chiefs, but
yeah, for a little bit, but it's not. We're not there anymore.
Let's keep the eyes elsewhere. Yeah.
I don't think the NFC South division winner failed to win a playoff game in more than back-to-back seasons. Like there's one instance of like back-to-back in 2007, 2008. Stuff influences those divisions so much, but like it would be crazy to overreact to any one division's down year or 2 years, or even if I give you 3 or 4, it's cyclical.
Right.
Except for the AFC East.
Right.
Which always has to have 3 bad teams.
I can't remember. I haven't looked at the records yet. But like, remember there was a time where the Chiefs under Matt Castle and Todd Haley hosted a playoff game with Jamal Charles as the 1+ player on the field, and the Ravens.
Rainbow was out there. I don't think he caught a pass, but he was out there.
And the Ravens, who we all knew at the time were the better team, guess what? Travels to Arrowhead and won the game.
Yep.
And I think the Ravens did that a couple years, either previous around that era when the Patriots were down and the Wildcat was the new crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, by the way, they didn't legislate the Wildcat out of the game now, did they?
Sure didn't.
The Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen, I know this sounds crazy, hosted a playoff game. And you know what? The Baltimore Ravens probably had the better record, the better team, and guess what? They went down to Miami and they beat the dog out of the Miami Dolphins. So it happens. But the division matters because you play those teams twice every year. Yeah. And the schedule is weighted for that particular reason. Everything that the schedule is built off of where your division is and who you play in your division and the inter-conference division you're playing, you know, on a once every 4-year cycle. So I just think they needed to come up with a better proposal. They had months to do this. It's still not great.
Nate's been unplugged. Nate has been
and
silenced.
I lost my mic. What are we doing?
We're back. Okay, I thought the NFL got to you. You called this plan. I thought Dan Campbell showed up, and it was your mic cord, and next it was your kneecaps. Oh no. Well, we'll get Nate a power cycle here. There we go. You're good. I don't know if you can hear me or not anymore. I don't know.
Sorry, what? Okay.
You got me? Fantastic. We're good. Before we bubble off into the guard thing.
It's just I should
go ahead.
Yeah, I need a new cord. That's all. Let's do this. Nope. I'm great. I just I just need a new cord. I'm lazy, and I'm changing diapers at 4 a.m, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I'm in the grind, okay?
Yes.
And for you and for Seth's Taekwondo class, this is the best I can give you. All right, go ahead.
Do you want me to do some Taekwondo?
Sure.
Do you want me to chop a board?
Sure. Punch one.
I thought you were going to give I thought you were going to give something to the Taekwondo. I thought there was there was maybe some.
Well,
you're saying this the last 34 minutes is all I've got to give you, which is totally fair. I understand now.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a moment in Bloodsport, which again we used to call movies Bloodsport. There's a moment in Bloodsport where God damn he like hits the bricks and like the bottom brick breaks and you're just like,
coolest thing in the world.
If you're not doing that by the 4th class of Taekwondo, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Get out of here.
Seth, make sure you're setting that standard where it needs to be, okay? Because I need to see some blocks breaking.
And blood.
Ideally blood.
They called the movie Bloodsport, and the 80s were incredible.
Nate,
Go ahead.
I'm going to choose your own adventure here, actually.
Okay.
You today, because we're not going to get to either of these on Thursday when presumably Seth and mix with you. We're going to get to the guard stuff regardless.
Okay, right. Okay, cool.
Finish your topics before we get to the guard talk. Would you rather talk about the Chiefs' schedule in whatever you enjoy, or would you rather talk about the NFL's deal to allow some players to play flag football in the Olympics? I think both of these have their merit.
In the near distance, in the great distance. Am I losing my connection?
No, you're good.
In the near distance, I am watching 2 middle-aged men coach up 1, 2, 3, what appears to be 6 to 7 kids on flag football.
Future Olympians.
This exactly. Look at it. I'm reporting live from Park. Hi, miss, with your lovely stroller. Yes, thank you.
Waving. Shout out.
Waving. Look, from here. When's the Olympics in 2040?
2028, right?
Right. I mean, that's in LA, but I'm saying.
We don't know that one yet. Yeah.
These guys are eligible for 2040. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now,
2040.
I know the Chiefs are going to have a OTA practice next week. I know we're going to try to glean something from these voluntary practices. Yeah. I want to tell me and my colleagues to bleep all that, okay?
Good.
All that matters is if we get Patrick Mahomes to the podium and we ask this man, have you cleared out your schedule for 2028, okay? Because Tom Brady never got a gold medal.
Man, I'm glad that you picked this one because the specifics of this are not actually set in stone now. Now it needs to go to the NFLPA and to the Olympics. But like some of the framework right now is effectively 1 player per team, in addition to the international pathway guys. So you could get Louis Rees-Zammit in the Olympics in 2028. I'm going to have my Welsh jersey. There are a few of those details that I do think are interesting. I think the idea of 1 player per NFL team, it just sort of tightens the numbers up in a necessary way that I kind of like, and it kind of regionalizes it a little bit.
Yes, very much so.
This was a better step forward than I think I was expecting, and frankly, I hadn't been paying very close attention. I wasn't that worked up about it, but now I can kind of to take a Seth phrase, I can kind of see the vision. Here's my question for you though, Nate. You've covered Patrick Mahomes his entire NFL career. Mm-hmm. In 2028, he'll be 33, 34? But 30, Tom Brady doesn't have a gold medal.
Yeah, 33, but Tom Brady never got a gold.
But it's also flag football. It's flag American football and right. He would play for America, as far as I can tell. Right. Do you think that, like, right now, if you had to guess, how interested is he in that?
Yeah, I get. Thank you, Levi. I think technically he'd be 32 because the summer games are before September, but he'd be in the 33rd year essentially. So yes, he would technically be towards the back 9 of 32.
And he's not doing it at 36, right? I mean, so this is, you want to do it right now, Pat.
I was just about to say, legacy quarterback selection.
Yeah.
Like we had Michael Jordan's big ass grill in Barcelona. You too, LA will have Patrick Mahomes all over SoFi Stadium, I guess. I don't know.
That will be actually really normal.
Coliseum?
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's a legacy pick. He clearly wants to do it. That's all he should want to talk about in checks notes May 27th or whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think our open practice OTAs, I can look it up here, and I think is May 29th. So look, in 9 days, ladies and gentlemen, all you should be asking Patrick Mahomes is, hey man, who you want to throw to?
Oh,
I know
man,
we know
drafting your team.
I know you've had these camps down in Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
What if Patrick Camp went to the next level with USA football?
Oh man,
I thought about that today. It's like anytime you say USA hockey, USA basketball.
Hey, 31-year-old Justin Jefferson, want to come win a ring? I like this, Nate.
Yeah,
I like this. All of a sudden, I hadn't really been thinking about it as a recruiting vessel.
Yes. Like, hey, like it used to be like Jerry Colangelo was running like USA basketball. I think now it's what, Grant Hill or whatever.
Now it's Patrick Mahomes running American football. I love this.
You know, he first came down from Mammoth to get us the gold in the inaugural 2028 Olympics flag football, and then he became general manager of USA football. I don't know. Like it's all fun to me, which is what it should be. Again, they're running routes right now. All right, I might as well be scouting these boys for the 2040 Olympics, just to get on that early 24/7. Just
get that tweet that the one guy had about, like, remember this like 12-year-old Paige Beckers. She's gonna be good, folks.
Good, yeah. Right.
It's like, wow, man, that you nailed it.
He hit. He knew what he was. He knew what he saw.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, like, you know, hey, if I can beat 24/7 to these young boys to get the first real interview, I'll do it. So,
9-year-old 4-star recruit.
His other interests are Pokemon, Beyblades. You know.
The follow-up question to this, in addition,
he wants to be a firefighter, you know.
The additional thing here is, like, who else should we be looking forward to? But if it's Mahomes, if he's your chief, like, sorry, Xavier Worthy. But Nate Dogg said, like, imagine a Belgian cornerback going up against Xavier Worthy. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing that I think we're going to kind of end up.
I think the Players Association should really take a good look at this, because do we want to antagonize the rest of the world like we already do in America?
Great point. That's a great point. You know who I think the Chiefs nominee should be, or who their person should be? Gardner Minshew. Yeah. Let's meet the world at the level it's at right now. Let's send one of our greatest ambassadors. Let it flow. Mahomes can watch the games, and he and Justin Jefferson and whoever can hang out in the box. You know.
Hey, can I ask a ridiculous question? Does Belgium actually have cornerbacks?
Nate. Not a ridiculous question.
I gotta ask.
A ridiculous question.
Hey, do they don't really backpedal much in Belgium, so
that's a great.
Just gotta see
it. Point.
I am a little terrified of, because you know there was that moment in the Dream Team's run where it's like, hey, bro, hey, can I just have that armband? I don't even want a picture. I don't even want an autograph. Can I just get your armband, Michael Jordan? Can I just? Oh my God, guys, he gave it to me. He gave it to me.
America could win gold in this, like, without actually playing any games to that point. So that's something. I will say the most interesting little bit of the NFL voting it through, the owners voting it through, is a purchase of league-wide. Actually, I'm sorry. This is still subject to negotiation, so this is not official yet.
That is such a good joke.
Oh, I didn't
say backpedal in France. Hey-o!
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
A purchase of league-wide insurance policies to provide injury protection for any player injured while participating in an authorized flag football activity related to the Olympics, and a salary cap credit for any player who is injured. I don't know if the NFL has that in any other context.
They don't.
That's really interesting.
Come on, guys. If somebody blows out their Achilles, which we don't want to see, and we send prayers to Jason Tatum and everybody else, like, you don't want something where like, hey, we made this move and like Kyrie Irving's knee just blown out. Like it happens. It's athletics. Obviously, this will be mostly non-contact. I mean, obviously, these are world-class athletes. I just
do you think that David Tepper might send his worst contract to the Olympics? Do you think he's considering it right now?
Wishing to get a credit too, so he can get an actual good player.
Wishing, Nate, it cannot cost David Tepper that much money to buy a Belgian corner. Hey, Belgian corner. I'm not picking a real person because this person might not be in the league yet. We did give $40 million a year to this edge rusher who's not recorded a sack yet. Can you just whoa, little whoopsie. Just a thought. I think Nate's mic may have unplugged again. So Joe Thuney got a contract extension today. Give you the details of that. Let me close this tab and this tab. Oh, don't have the Joe Thuney tab open anymore. Hopefully, the details weren't important to you. No, it's a 2-year contract extension at $17.5 million per year, according to Schefter, making it $51 million for the next 3 years, with $33.5 million fully guaranteed at signing. We knew that if he was going to stay with the Chiefs, that Joe Thuney would have ended up with an extension that went beyond this current season. Makes total sense that the Bears would do that after acquiring him. But as Trey Smith's deal is not yet done, Nate, I don't think I'm hearing anything from your mic yet. Just as a little word of
no,
warning.
you're good.
Oh, the background noise just completely disappeared so entirely.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
I'm great.
But
yeah.
Thuney gets a completely reasonable deal for, yes, the older player, but also a guy who's been doing it at a very high level. What do you make of that deal for Thuney? And as the Trey Smith thing stays in a holding pattern, not panic time until into training camp, probably.
Correct. Well, not panic time till we get to July, because you know he did sign the franchise tag tender, so the deadline is July 15th, at like 3:00, I think, Central Time, in the afternoon. So my understanding is, once Joe Thuney, who happened to be in a country where they backpedal, once he found out he was traded, and so if my memory's correct, he was in a country where they backpedal.
I believe that is
when he was informed that, hey, dog, you don't play here no more. Which again is crazy. It tells you how ruthless this sport is.
You know how expensive it is to move a charging station from Kansas City to Chicago?
Prayers. He wanted a 3-year extension, and the Chiefs likely knew that. Like, hey, rip it up, give me 3 years, where much of that is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So the Bears have hedged where they said, hey, we're going to add 2 more years to you, give you a little security. He's so good that, like, there's not many outs in the contract. And, he's been one of the best guards since he's basically been in the league. I don't know if this really changes much with the Trey Smith scenario because he's already the highest paid guard via the franchise tag. So, and again, that's basically like, again, if you were Trey Smith, just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you were Trey Smith, well, that's where my annual salary starts, right? It starts at the number where you already are paying, or you've already agreed to pay me for this 1 year. As I said before, can you get out of it in 3 years if you sign a 4-year deal? Can you get out of it in 4 years if you sign a 5-year deal? What this does tell you, though, is they better sign him because you traded technically the older player, but technically not the better player. Now, in 3 years' time, of course, Trey Smith could be just as good, if not maybe even better, than Joe Thuney is right now, or what he was last season. So you make this move, and even before the Bears really got into OTA land, they secured Joe Thuney. So you best sign Trey Smith before this deadline, because by not signing him, by having him play on the franchise tag, well, we just watched that with Orlando Brown, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Trey Smith is better than Orlando Brown Jr. And he was younger at the time. So, he would be basically, unless something drastically changed, he'd be cornered until the last year in Kansas City for 2025. I think this actually puts more of an emphasis and a more pressure on the Chiefs than it does Trey Smith, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. And the other side of it is when you're looking at 3 years of Joe Thuney and knowing what that's going to be. Again, for Thuney, it may be the final 3 years of his career. It could be the 3 of the final 5. We don't know.
Right.
And with Trey Smith, certainly expecting that won't be the case. But for Joe Thuney, $51 million for the next 3 years is $17 million AAV.
Yep.
These numbers aren't going to be exactly perfect, but I like to try to contextualize it with players.
Yes.
You're talking about Joe Thuney and Christian Fulton, or Joe Thuney and Hollywood Brown.
Yes.
Instead of Trey Smith, if just financially.
Correct.
I also don't know what they would have gotten in return for Trey Smith in a trade. I don't know if you have a hunch on that. I'm guessing it still would have been a little bit underwhelming.
Just because of the
Snead trade was, but
it's not about the player, right? And I think some people got upset about that when the Joe Thuney trade happened. Like, hey, they got to do that before we even get to the book accounting situation.
Right.
So your market has been squished in a bit. Well, there's only so many teams who need a high-level guard, so your market gets squeezed even more. Oh, and by the way, he's a bleeping left guard. He does not score touchdowns. He does not take the ball away. So your market gets squished in that manner. So, yeah, you would, I think, theoretically get more in a trade for Trey Smith, but it wouldn't satisfy anybody.
Yeah.
So
as the Joe Thuney trade also satisfied nobody.
Correct.
And ended up being ammo to trade up to get Noah Williams.
Right. It only sat again, it's an understandable and hard ends to a means for the Chiefs to trade Joe Thuney, because you have to get better at the left tackle position and you have to retain Trey Smith. So they've done the first part. Now they got to shore up and do the second part to make the Joe Thuney trade worth it, regardless of whatever you got back from a draft pick compensation. Right. So, and again, that only rolls up till next year. I can't even remember these things now because, but
it's gone now. That was the
gone.
pick. That was the pick to
that
trade
they
up
moved
to get Noah
up.
Williams.
That's right. So, that they used to move up. Yeah. So
that pick was ammo. I mean, it was Joe Thuney to move up 10 spots.
Correct.
Which is not very satisfying
at all. Now, when you look at it through that vacuum,
no.
But you want to look at it from the context of, okay, Joe did everything right. He did nothing wrong. He's a great robot. He will continue to be an amazing robot. As Nate Dogg says, he'll probably teach Caleb Williams, hey, you might want to be in that
joke
film
from
room,
Nate
boy.
Dogg is so good. He can teach Caleb Williams to watch film, so it's worth it. Such a good joke. I could do an hour on that Bears article, but we're not going to right now. But I want to.
I want to too, because
Thursday. Nick or Tucker, one of you guys put it on the rundown, and we'll use it to box out Seth, because there's no way he's read that story.
Because that way I could read it, because I quickly read it, because, again, kids, I don't have much time these days. But I quickly read it and was like, everybody need to be fired then.
Yes! Yes! That was the only take!
I was like, so everybody got to go?
Dude.
Like, everybody? Like, what? They won how many games with this nonsense going on last year? And they signed, you know what Eric Bieniemy gonna do. Your eyes are gonna be looking at that film, son.
I think he'd find a few things for you to check out on tape.
Right.
Given the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. God, can we just, we have Hard Knocks and we have like the things like the franchise and certain documentaries. I just want a solo camera on Eric Bieniemy at all times this upcoming season. All times. I know he's only coaching running backs. I guarantee you he's gonna be in that quarterback room too. Guarantee it. Okay. It says running backs on the piece of paper. He ain't coaching just the running backs.
Absolutely not.
So yes, all that said, I think this puts more pressure on the Chiefs than Trey Smith. Trey Smith can just sit back and sort of wait for the Chiefs to come to him, which I think by and large is smart.
Yep.
And then the clock will start to tick, and it's like, hey, man, are you actually willing to do what you said you're going to do, which obviously is be with the Chiefs long term? I know Creed Humphrey will get in the mix. I'm sure Patrick, Travis, the likes. Your agent will do their best, and you should really solve this on I don't know, July 4th.
Not July 4th. Almost any day other than that would be so good for you and Tucker and everyone.
I know.
Honestly, you know what, Nate?
When everybody on vacation,
everyone except Seth would hate it if they had that news on July 4th. Seth, I'm sure, would just be glad to have something to celebrate. That's going to do it for this edition of Only Weird Games. I'm Joshua Brisco. That's Nate Taylor, and there is no third co-host of this show. Shout out to Nick for stepping in.
Yes,
and,
thank you, Nick.
Pulling the levers and pushing the buttons. Woo. And Nate, you can just get us right out of here into your favorite family memory of a holiday that Seth Kaiser hates.
Right. I just want to make I think that's what if I was advising Trey Smith, which I'm not, the agent in me would be like, we ain't really got to do nothing until July 4th. Then we can actually look at the numbers and do the math and, how quickly can they get out of the contract? How quickly can we get in the app, another bite at the apple based on where the market's going to go and the cap projections, da-da-da-da. But, hey, do I get out of mandatory? Yeah, you get out of mandatory minicamp if we do nothing until July 4th with 11 days to work with the Chiefs on the contract, if you so choose. Now, hey, if you want to be out with the boys, if you would like life-changing money by the stroke of a pen, we could have did this yesterday.
4th of July is on a Friday. Let's give it July 7th.
Yeah, right.